Sorry about that, guys. What I was saying, yes. I'm going to give you a few more minutes just to enjoy this beautiful cemetery. And behind, guys, you have the stadium, you know, from Montjuic. I don't know if you heard about it. Go check this place, guys. All right, back to the history lesson. As I was telling you, we are building a new part of the city, and we are doing exactly the opposite as the Gothic wall. Owners of factory. Yeah, the rich, you see? So, those rich people, those owners of factory, actually they started to get pretty rich. And when you start to get rich, you want to brag a little bit, you know? But you have to imagine, it was 19th century. There was no way to brag so much, you know? There was no Instagram or TikTok, you know, with the Kardashian. I don't know if they would have done something there. But the only way for us to show that wealth was to build massive, colorful houses, all in arte modernista, all in Art Nouveau style. And you probably know some of those houses. Yeah, Casa Baglio, Casa Mila, Casa Vicens. Okay, Casa means house. Baglio, Mila, Vicens were those rich families, the surname of those owners of family. And you probably know our masterpiece, our what do you say? Yeah, Gaudi, how do you call that? Our chief? El Señor, sí, well, Antoni Gaudi. And you probably know the Sagrada Familia, right? Have you been there already? Yes, some of you yes, some of you no. Okay, we need new money to finish it. You need to build the sun is almost done. 1992, what happened in Barcelona? Boom, Olympic Games, exactly. So it was amazing for us because we could show the world we were a new city, but a new country in general. So what we did what you will do if you have a dinner party at your place. You know, you clean up pretty good. You're trying to show the best. That's what we did. We took the money from the Olympic Committee, and instead of building new stadiums we're not going to use anymore, we refurbished the old one, and we use 80% of the money for the city. So we extended the metro line, we extended the highway system, the airport, but as well, we built a new seafront. What you need to know, guys, before the Olympic Games, we had all the factories on the seafront. We were turning our back to the sea. So we moved all those factories to the back of Barcelona. We brought some sand from the Sahara, some palm trees from the Bahamas, and voila. Ta-da! You have the beach in Barcelona. I don't know if someone told you guys, but most of the beach are fake. The only real one is the one next to the W Hotel. All the rest is actually man-made. Yes, I know, sorry about that. But who cares? The mojito, the paella, all that is real, so no problem with that. But guys, those Olympic Games, massive success. Before Olympic Games, we had around 200,000 tourists coming each year to Barcelona. After the Olympic Games, we went up to 4 million tourists. Yes. 2019, guys, we broke a record. 19 million tourists came to Barcelona. Yes, we're actually the third most visited city in Europe after London and Paris. 2020, we broke a new record. 0. Nobody came in 2020. Yes, and you know, yes, we all know why. But now we're back on track, guys. Back on track. Thanks to you guys, we got a full bus, and thanks to you guys, we got a job. So thank you very much for coming. Okay, and don't worry with my colleagues, we're not gonna shoot you with water guns. Okay, that's not gonna happen. You know, we had that because now we don't control the rent anymore. The rent went very high. But who doesn't have this problem? It's everywhere around the world. So don't worry, we know it's not your fault. And guys, now, actually, you know the industrial part I was telling you about. We're gonna pass through that, and for the next 15 minutes, it's not gonna be that nice, the view. So if you want, guys, you can embrace our culture. Try our national sport. Siesta, exactly. The ability to take a nap anywhere, anytime. So if you want, guys, close your eyes nicely, and I will wake you up gently when we're right close to the train station. And that's it. Wasn't too bad, right? Thank you. Thank you very much.
这车子不等你，然后又回去载人，对吧？应该是，然后下面接下来的是晚来的bus。
因为这样子比较有效率。
对，不会再有一台车在那里。
temperatura para no.
Thank you.
No puede estar con la temperatura que tú sientes.
No, yo prefiero tener calor. 100%. Alright guys, we arrive at the train station. So once again, double check if we got everything with you. Let's see the timer. We're gonna have time as well if you want to go for a quick little bathroom break. As well guys, if you're with Berta, just follow me because Berta's gonna get the ticket for all of us. So if you're with Berta's group, just follow me, alright? And that's it, you know everything. See you out there guys, and welcome to Jurassic Park.
看那个山上，哇，那个山好奇怪哦。哇 ，this is weird looking mountain. Is there a name for this rock?
That's Montserrat. That's the name of.
Oh, that's a mountain. Okay.
Montserrat is the name of the mountain.
M 什么吗？
Oh, okay.
就是我们要上的那个山。
Do you need to use the restrooms? Yes. Toilets are right there in case you need.
我们要坐小火车上去。小火车，它把你拉上去。
To us. I'm sorry it's too late to us. It's a super safe train, don't worry. Once we arrive to the monastery area, we're gonna start a walking tour. My goal is that you understand why this place is so important for us. I am a historian. I understand that not everybody likes history as much as I do. I will try to make my explanations not too boring, and I will try to get the bigger picture for you to relate a little bit with explanations from Barcelona, so you can get a little bit of context of the country you're visiting, the region especially of Catalonia. During the visit, please feel free to ask as many questions as you want. As you know, my name is Paul. I'm born and raised in
这边是有两个位置，
两个位置是向后看的，要不要？
没关系，可以啊，可以。
Okay, you're advanced.
No, I regress.
I'm not from Milwaukee originally, but I've been there like 6 years.
Where you from originally?
My dad was military. I'm in the Chicago area.
Manejando.
Eleanor.
That's in Monastery. I'm gonna call my dog Monastery.
That's Mossie's middle name. Calls him Mossy Monster.
Yo iba camino, me acompañas a Montserrat, pero iba a Catalan esa no va.
Sí, no me gusta nada.
Pero Camilo es mi arrastre donde sea.
Justice, since you're right window, will you take pictures for us? Should I rephrase that? Justice, take pictures.
Demand.
Por favor.
Todas estas lomas están seguras, pero son mallas de acero.
No, come on.
Nice little room. It'll be a nice little room. Imagine walking up to it.
No tener apagones. Volvieron las cámaras. Ellos quieren las cámaras aquí. Por aquí.
Maria de Montserrat, Saint Mary of Montserrat, is the name of the monastery. As I told you before, it's an active monastery. So there's monks who live here, they live right there. In the oldest spot, that's where the monks live, is the area closer to the mountain itself. The most important building here is not the monastery, it's the basilica, the church where the Black Madonna is located, right here. There's then many more buildings, all those facilities for visitors, right? But there's another institution, very prestigious in Montserrat, known as Escolania. What does Escolania mean? School is a school for boys only, or here, not to be the next one, sing. It's a music school for boys, they sing in a choir. They're reputated choir. These kids are aged between 6 and 14. As you can see, it's a beautiful place, right? how old would you say Montserrat Monastery is?
200.
It's a tricky question, let me tell you, because when you look at some of the buildings, especially if you look at the bell tower, it looks very modern. This bell tower was built in the 20th century, it's not so old. But look, Montserrat was first founded in the year 1025, so it's 999 years old. Next year is the official 1000th anniversary. Let's go back in time 1,000 years ago. Imagine that you are an abbot and you want to create, to found your own little community of monks. Why do you choose this location? Why do you choose it? Very quiet, that's for sure. It's very isolated. But why up here? Safety. It's all about safety, exactly. 1,000 years ago, Spain did not exist as such, right? This land was divided. Okay? It was a sort of buffer zone between the Christian and the Muslim world. And there was lots of religious infight. It made lots of sense for a little Christian community to stay away from any possible attack by the Muslims by locating themselves in the middle of nowhere, right? This place was super small, maybe just few monks would live here, and most likely there was not even the statue of the Virgin yet. It was just a little community dedicated to Mary as an image, Saint Mary of Montserrat. Only when the Christian troops from the north, remember, started that period of fighting back against the Muslim order. And the Benedictine order is one of the oldest religious orders in the Catholic Church. And they follow that as a rule. Ora means pray. Lege means read. What does labora mean? Labor, work, do manual labor. Those are their duties. As members of that particular religious order, all the monks that belong to the Benedictine order, they must pray up here. Could they make beer? No, not really. What could they do? They would go out in the mountain, they would collect some medicinal plants, they would make a liquor or an infusion called aromas. This spirit is still produced, not by the monks today, it's made in a distillery, but it's still one of the most popular products of Montserrat. It's this green bottle right here. I'm gonna mention two other products that you can try in Montserrat if you want to eat something before too close to the sea. We hardly ever get snow. Just let me mention a little bit the Black Madonna or the Virgin of Montserrat. We never say the Black Madonna in Catalan, we just call her La Moreneta, which is the cute nickname of Our Lady. Is a medieval statue representing a Mother Mary sitting on a throne with baby Jesus on her lap. It's from the late Middle Ages, it's a gilded statue, and as you can see, it's a black Virgin Mary, it's a dark Virgin Mary. Now, why do you think this statue is black?
The rocks, the more.
It's wood.
Oh, it's
wood. The kind of wood was probably dark in origin, but was not fully black. The art historians believe that most likely this statue has been darkened throughout the history, since lots of pilgrims started lighting so many candles in front of the little altar that the smoke turned it darker and darker and darker. Let me kill the magic, because I'm a historian and I need to stick to the facts. I told you that the monastery is 1,000 years old, right? Well, the statue is 800 years old. There's a gap here. So this legend of her appearance in a cave by some shepherds and the fact that the bishop created the shrine where they found the statue, well, legends are legends. It's probably not the case, but what is true is that this virgin has been attributed those healing powers for so many centuries. That's the reason why so many people came here. Now, since she's the patroness of Catalonia, you can see replicas of the Virgin in many churches. So we're not going inside. I actually want I just wanted to show these arts because this is one of the few vestiges that was not destroyed by Napoleon. This was built in 1565. That was the entrance to the monastery back in the old days. So the site, the pilgrims arriving from the mountain would see when making it here. Take a look at the kind of stone the arch has. It's exactly the same kind of stone the mountain has. We call it pink conglomerate. Remember, this is a sedimentary rock. It's all compacted with the pink clay, different kind of pebbles, branches, all together is sedimentary material. The mountain is so soft that it's erodible, right? It's easy to be worn. That's the reason why the monks, instead of carrying stone from far away, they would basically use the mountain as a quarry to build their building. Take also a look at the crest. Do you see the rounded peaks? Those are the rock formations. Can you see on top of the highest one, there's the magic saw, that golden saw the angels used to serrate Montserrat. This is something that you will see everywhere here in Montserrat, the legend of the angels sawing, serrating or jacking the mountain as the throne for the Virgin. This little square where we are is where the starting point of the walk to the cross begins. That's the way, the ramp up. In the past. About 1,000 years ago, this was a recent place that probably maybe a little community, maybe less than 10 months.
车子还是开得上来的，车子开得上来。
Do manual labor. They were laborers. This was Later on, obviously, in the 19th century, when all this was built, like professional.
车好好笑哦，你要照个相。Benz 的，然后啊，什么意思？
他在展示了，在展示他的车子，展示警车。
Stai per dopo uno in grande.
Here, right? That's one of the most beautiful ones. The building right behind is a hotel. It's a 3-star hotel. As a curiosity, this is the place, the hotel right here, the place where my grandparents decided to spend their honeymoon. Many couples in their generation spent the honeymoon in Montserrat because the Virgin was also attributed fertility powers, right? So, well, it was very common in their generation. Well, my grandparents had 5 kids. Right behind, this is the entrance to the museum. That's the other activity I wanted to mention. If you feel like visiting the museum, that's the entrance. Okay, it's an underground museum. So as I said, let's go now, stand in the middle of the big square. So we are now in St. Mary's Square. Okay, the whole site, remember, is dedicated to Mary. So this big square is where the religious gatherings happen. When I say religious gathering, imagine like 300 people that came visit all together, and most of them by foot. They walk here, so the monks come out from their monastery and they greet them. Sometimes, especially on Sundays, there's some folklore activities, traditional dancing going on right here. That's why it's such a wide open area. From here, we can basically compare the two main different styles that you find in Montserrat. One of them, behind these walls, no one is allowed in. The monks are not a cloistered community. They walk out, they speak to people. You might see some of them, but at the same time, whenever they want, they seclude behind these walls, and no one is allowed in. This is where they can find their way to God in a relaxed, peaceful environment. Take a look at the modern facade built in the 1950s, right after the Spanish Civil War. The most important balcony is the one in the middle. It's a tribute to the Roman Catholic Church. The Virgin Mary on top, and immediately the leader of the Catholic Church, the Pope, the Bishop of Rome. Right, welcoming everyone with open arms. The balcony to your left, that's a tribute to Saint Benedict, one of the saints in the Catholic Church, the one who founded the Benedictines. Remember, if you see any monk today, you'll notice they wear a black habit. That's the dress code of the Benedictines. Is that man the one who established the rule of praying and working? If they all committed to that rule, it's because that man created that order with that particular rule. But if Montserrat is something else, it's a place that goes beyond religion, it's because of that. This is the most important thing I'm going to tell you today. Why is Montserrat considered the heart of Catalonia? Let's reach common ground. Between 1939 and 1975, Spain is ruled by General Franco, a fascist dictator. Franco's main ideology was national Catholicism. Catholicism was the one and only official religion in Spain, the most conservative view of the Catholic Church. On the other hand, he was extremely nationalistic, Spanish nationalism. He wanted to unify Spaniards with one single religion and one single language. That means that regional languages, like my mother tongue, Catalan, were tried to be erased. It was banned from public life. Catalan language, my parents are Catalan speakers. They do not know how to write down their own language. No one taught them Catalan in the school. Had I been born in Franco times, my name would not be Paul. This is a Catalan name, Catalan given name. It's spiritual, right? Obviously, we're in the heart of the Catholic community. It's no doubt a Catholic place, a very important religious site, but it goes beyond that. It's also a symbol for any Catalan. Do you have any questions so far? Right here and over there, you have a couple of graves built in Renaissance times, right? 1500s style that developed a lot in Italy. Have any of you been to Rome or Florence? Well, if you've been there, this will not impress you at all. It's just a grave, but it's beautiful in that style. It's a grave of a VIP, obviously. Who is buried here? And member of the royal family. That royal family that used to sponsor Montserrat, right? They got the right to be buried here. Is it the current royal family? Because Spain is a kingdom, is not the current one. And this relates to the history of why Catalonia wants to split up. Let's say, right? And as you can see, it's divided, it's quartered. This is because Spain didn't exist as such in the Middle Ages. In the Middle Ages, Spain was a bunch of separated, independent kingdoms. Barcelona was the capital of one of them. Maybe you have seen this flag, red and yellow stripes, right? That's the flag of Catalonia. The other powerful kingdom in the country was Castile. This is more or less in the center, where Madrid is today. At some point they were busy because they were fighting with a common enemy, the Muslims, right? So they merged into alliances to fight against the Muslims. The biggest alliance happened when our king married to their queen. They were cousins.
They were cousins.
Ugly kids. They married into an alliance, but they did not merge their two kingdoms. They decided, hey, we're gonna keep two separated kingdoms, we're gonna just unite the crown. Isn't it like in the UK, right? The King of England is also king in Scotland, he's also head of state in Canada and Australia, right? Same. The problem began years later, in the 1700s. Year 1700, one of their successors died with no heir. What happens next? Game of Thrones. Everybody wanted the throne of Spain, right? It was a succession war. The big families in Europe fought for the Spanish crown. Spain back then still had America, still had many of the European territories. Imagine. So we didn't agree. Catalan people backed one of the candidates, the Habsburg, and the Castilians backed the Bourbon candidate. And Vince told you that, right? We always pick the wrong side. So we lost that war. So a new dynasty took over, the Bourbon, the one that was backed by the Castilian. Was the Bourbon new king happy with us? Not really, we had fought against him, right? So he decided that he would unite Spain for the first time in history 300 years ago. And the way he would do it was by eliminating all the medieval kingdoms and establish one single one. One single rule, the one of Castile, would be applied to everyone else. That's the moment when people in Catalonia felt that we lost our political power. We lost all our institutions, we lost our independence. 300 years ago. That's the moment when this feeling of recovering the lost independence was born, right? Nowadays, Spain is still a monarchy. When the dictator passed away in 1975, he had appointed a successor. And who would be the dictator's successor? The former king's son. King Juan Carlos was the new ruler. He was a young king, and he knew he was Beautiful, right? Bella. All right, come with me. The structure is old, but all is the restoration. It's in a revival style, so it's neo-baroque. There's lots of detail, there's lots of decoration. We could spend weeks talking about every single detail here, so just summing up. Here on this wing, this corridor, you can see the different moments, the different stages of the history of this community of Montserrat as a spiritual place. On the other side, on the other wing, the other corridor, you can see different religious sites. You can see Holy Land, Terra Sancta means the Holy Land. You can see Rome, you can see Santiago de Compostela, you can see Monte Cassino. You can see that sculpture. Look at that beautiful sculpture. That's Saint Gregorius, one of the former popes. He has an animal, right? What's that animal? It's a wolf. It's a symbol of Rome, symbol of the Catholic power. He has also a little bird in his shoulder, right? The little bird is singing to Saint Gregorius, and he's just copying down what the bird sings. He was the promoter of the Gregorial singing. This Gregorial chants, this religious music, that's what the kids remember sing, and that's what most of the monks teach. Take also a look at this beautiful floor. This marble floor is a tribute, once again, to Rome by the architect of Montserrat. He placed these lines by imitating a famous square in Rome built by Michelangelo. It's called Il Campidoglio in Rome. This is a graphical representation of a mathematical system of numbers called the Fibonacci sequence, right? And it's just the way it looks like. And the place right in the middle, the little stone, is considered by some people an energy show. Sometimes you will see people standing there, and they consider from here, look at it from the inside. That's colorful. This is the main entrance of light to the church. Then there's a clock. It's almost noon now. It's 5 to 12. This is the clock all monks look at to know when it's the right time to do their prayer. Remember, 8 a day, right? They all live here. Remember, each of them, nowadays there's 45, but in the past there used to be more. So they all face the main facade. And now the inside of the church is the beautiful place where service is.
再去再爬回来，就是从这里看一样的景。那自由行才可以，看好自由行。
他拉上来的车子。
再坐上去，在这边另外坐那个上去，说他们坐那个上去，就是去看那个黑面。
没有啊，黑面不是在这里
它
啊。
还有一个大的黑面，另外一个坐在外面，一个好大一塞。 是啊，cheese加蜂蜜。
他说的是。
卖cheese的那个卖蜂蜜。
Hanno speso per creare questo regno d'Italia con a capo, hanno scelto loro. Quando io sono andato lì.
会有人走下去，你看。
啊？
我们这边走。
谁？
我们这边走。
有人走下去了，对。
Io l'unica che lavora un di meno.
La lona o cómo?
Claro, tiene la estructura que...
他说去死在哪一家？一条河。
너무 시간이 많이 남아 40분을 뭐 할 건데? 쓰고 아리고.
他们从这里走下去啦。
啊，他们从这边走的。
嗯。
这边开始走了。
走下去。
El tonto la cámara. El tonto la cámara.
他可以走到下面去拍照啊。走下去啊。
那应该走那边，圈圈的就好了。
嗯。走，哎呦，那个人好可怕，我脚都。
I want to travel to Africa for Africa.
Africa.
Yeah. And then if I speak French, it's more easy to go
这从那里跟这里看不是差不多？
是啊。差别。
那么远。
French or English? Yeah. French or English? No, Spanish. No. It's good for you. Good for you. Wait, you have potato? No, no.
啊，像我刚刚上来的时候，
分得很散哈。
刚上来的地方。
那我们那个万家堂在哪里？圣家堂。
那我们到另外一个城市了。
啊，不是在同一个地方了。
不在这里了。
40分钟，看不到。到另外一个区来了。我们从台北开到台中了，开到桃园了。
山，你看，
好奇怪。
就这么一个山峰一样。我们在一个 winery。
后面把它盖成城堡，这样才比较像。
看吧，哇，
旁边，
哇，
Mai na lang kay subong ko kung schedule niyo. Sa birthday ni Mama Tano.
Revolutionary,
Hapon mabalik.
but at the same time he wanted to make some order in that disorder, right? Because he became the dictator.
是一个王
Eventually,
子。
he proclaimed himself the emperor.
这里没有像我们去的那个种葡萄，
这就是酒厂啊，这就是酒厂啊，
不是葡萄酒。
是葡萄酒，是葡萄酒。
So far, that's beautiful.
Now you understand why we call it serrated mountain. Eh? Look at the jagged silhouette of it. All right, later on, if you want to do some workout, you can join. Let me send you the menu. We will have for starter a vegetable soup. All right, you can have some potatoes and the olive oil here. Then the main course will be a roasted chicken. It's served on a mashed potato base, and then it has a chef sauce on top. One day makes a big difference.
Huge difference.
My sister was chicken too.
We got blue eggs. Really? Yeah, I didn't even know they had.
棵长得好好的白杨树给看，
哇，那棵白杨树长这好哦。
She celebrated her 77th birthday. I thought she celebrated.
啊，这边有葡萄藤了。
In Catalan is POL, in French or English is PAUL, in Italian is Paolo, and in Spanish is Pablo. Have you all been to wineries?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm not going to tell you the same boring stuff they tell you in every single winery. I'll be focusing in the particularities of this place. But I want to, since today most of you are from America, Canada and the US, I would like to stress out that the big focus in the European wine culture is not that much on the grape variety, but on the region. Okay, when we order wines, we don't go by the variety. We don't go, I want a Chardonnay, I want a Pinot Noir, I want a Cabernet. We don't work this way. Most of our wines are blends of different grape varieties. When we order a wine, we order a particular region. We say, I want a wine from Priorat, I want a wine from Rioja, I want a wine from Ribera del Duero. The same they do in France, right? It's the appellation of origin or the terroir of the place. That's what we care the most, the place where we are.
他说他这边有个 microclimate， 它就是因为它这个山屏障了以后，然后它这边很适合种葡萄。可山的那一头的话也种，可是是完全不一样的，不一样的酒。对，这边是红酒、白酒，那边的话是 sparkling wine。
妈妈，你是再婚的？
对。
她说她老公有3个，她有2个，加起来5个。他们是不是有混到黑人？
对。所以她老公也是黑的嘛？
是不是？
对不对？
他们小朋友长得有一点。
As you can see right here, there's a couple of cabins. They started this newer project. At the same time, they opened a restaurant where we have lunch. All right. When I started working in the company, all this didn't exist. They had a little restaurant, like a little restaurant. Well, that's the new project in order to try this place a bit more appealing for the next generation.
你看，西班牙的 countryside。
That beautiful house, that's where we will do the tasting. The family has lived here for over 1,000 years, right? To understand a little bit the history behind this place, we should go back again 1,000 years ago, even before Montserrat Monastery was founded. It was a family of potters who would use the red clay from here to make pottery. And you see right there on the other side of the vineyard, the stone building?
Yeah.
That's a kiln. That's where they would make the pottery, right? In the year 964, one of the members of the family participated in a battle against the Moors, remember? Because the king in Barcelona basically asked him for help. He did participate, his side won the war, so he was then rewarded. What was the reward he got? A nobility title, and that made a big difference in the Middle Ages. Thanks to owning a nobility title, the family could get their crest, could bear arms, and the most important thing, they were given the right of ownership. They were granted 1,000 acres big estate, which sounds massive for us, for medieval standards. It's not that big. I mean, it would sustain a family, but that's it. It was not one of the wealthiest families in the country. Actually, the family was just a family of potters, so they were just craft people. Now, the big change happened in the 1700s. They started making lots of money back then when they realized they could make ice. And ice making was way more profitable than pot making. And how did they make ice? Remember, this place is cold in the winter, right? Basically, it's a scanner, right? In there, the computer, the winemaker, and their team, they set out a certain criteria, like a size, a shine, a color, and this scanner analyzes all the grapes super fast. Then it has a system of air compressed. So the grapes that do not match that criteria they have set up, it's popped away super fast. It's a very fast way of selecting grapes rather than looking at them with a whole team. So it fastens all this process. It's all about hurrying up making wine, right? Because their grapes, if it's September or even if it's not, it's very hot, right? So you need to do that in refrigerated areas. So you need to hurry up. That's why they harvest at night when temperatures are lower, and they start doing this selection early in the morning. Then the grapes that are reshaped, they make compost, but with the right they do select, they bring them to this. The crushing machine, this is a pneumatic press, so with the grapes gently, they just get their juice. The skin and the seed remains inside those tanks, and then the grape juice drops into the pool. That wine, it's not wine yet, it's grape juice obviously, will be then transferred with hoses to the ferment.
Yeah. You don't have to. Just a step there.
16.
We have the see how they process it.
That's good.
The whole thing where we are is part of the winery. The winery itself is the building we just saw, but everything since we hop off the bus is part of the project.
老婆，你从这边看过去那个山，
Did you get some of the blooms on it? Definitely. I'll soil it in water and put some olive oil in it. It'll make it smell really, really good in the air.
Ticapol is one of the several local grape varieties that was extremely popular here until the 19th century. What happened in the 19th century? Have any of you heard about phylloxera? No? Okay, phylloxera is a microscopic bug, a microscopic fly. It was accidentally introduced from California in the 1870s by a French winemaker. We don't blame on you, don't worry. we blame on the French, because why not? As a French winemaker brought some vines from California, he wanted to have them planted in France, right? He didn't know that along with the vine, the little fly came in. The fly was not a problem in California because the Californian vines were immune, but the European vines were not prepared for that fly. So when the fly arrived, started drilling the roots to lay their eggs, and that killed the vine. In a period of only 30 years, in 30 years' time, 90% of the European grapes, but he could not identify. He reported the owner, but as I told you, the owner was young and not very knowledgeable. He went there, checked, he had no idea. But he had an idea. Why don't I call the elders of this grape wine region, and he made them go, can you come by please, can you check, help me? Obviously they helped him because
下面半截是加州的
shoulder to
根，
shoulder. But
加
surprise
州
was
葡
that
萄
no
的根，
one knew.
上面是
Nobody knew.
西
So
班
they
牙。
just told him, why don't you take these vines to Barcelona, take them to the Catalan Institute of Wine so they can,
因为
you
它
know,
有一个
analyze them genetically.
法
And
国
weeks
的
later, they
从
received
加
a
州
letter
带回来
that
的
that grape
它的
variety
饭
they found was
里面有
Rettica Pol, the
小
species that was
虫
considered
有疤，
lost. And the last record that we
然后
had from
90%
Rettica Pol was for more than
欧洲的
120 years ago.
欧洲
They
的
suggested him
葡萄端
have
全
them
被杀
cloned
光了。
because it's dangerous. We have to have them grafted. Those were not even grafted yet. Have them grafted, have them cloned, and plant a little parcel, will help you out, of Rettica Pol, and try to make wines out of it. And that's what he did. So he started making like garage wines, or like experimental wines with it. He realized that the... So that's the old family house. Once again, if you look at the crest, you will see the 3 pots, right? Remember, they were potters. The name of the winery is Uller del Mas, which is named after this house. Mas means country house in Catalan language. This is a mas. There's many mas here. And Uller is a family name. Is the family name, right? So this is the house of family Uller. As you can see, it's like a patchwork of different styles, built in different moments, restored countless times. This is the family place. This is where they still live. Not in the stone house, but in the white area, the one that's attached to the old fortification. Living in a castle sounds super cool. It's not that cool. It's very cold. In the summer maybe, yeah, but in the winter time gets very, very cold. That's why they live in the 19th century house. Now the oldest part is obviously the ground floor. There's some rooms that date from the Middle Ages. Those were, like, it was a working place, right? It was a place for a standard family where they would live but also work, right? So now we're gonna do the tasting in one of these medieval rooms, one of the oldest parts here. So right here.
看了，好长哦，It's okay. We can stand.
You can stay.
We can stand.
No, I'm going to church. This is just a group. You there? Generations. Many of the family members, they became members of the church too, because in the old heritage rule, it would be the firstborn son that one that would take it all. And the second-born son was traditionally sent to the church, right? The room next door is where my colleague was doing their tasting. That's the old aging room. You will see a few barrels, so we're gonna go through and go around.
不能再
Take some
喝。
pictures if you want.
Sean, you go to church, I'll make wine.
Winter, right? But it's very wet, so it's very, very cold. We jump. There's still water. It's very, it's nice. It's wonderful.
Did you look in there? I'm gonna go there, okay? I wanna see what's over there.